Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm using Spellbinders November 23 Build a Card Hello die set. Yes, it's November and it's from an age ago, but I wanted to still showcase these dies and stamps because, not stamps, the dies, because you guys that do have them, this is just another idea for you. So yes, it's from November 23, but hey ho. I used for the mirrored cardstock, it's one A2 sheet that is a Simon Says stamp. I want to say it's like a rainbow mirror holograph paper, something like that. And it came in one of the kits when I was getting those kits, and I finally found another use for it. So I die cut each of the solid background pieces out of that cardstock. And then and sort of next to each other so that the rainbow will still make sense, if that makes sense. They'll line up next to each other. And then what I did was I took the detailed die that comes with it and cut that out of some black cardstock. Now this is not the best black cardstock. It's kind of I don't know, it's a bit insipid almost, like it's not a rich black cardstock, if that makes any sense. But I thought the black on the holographic would look pretty cool, and it does look cool. The adhesive that I've used is some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and although you can see the white of it, it will dry clear. It's just very tricky on something like a shiny surface to get that adhesive on there. The other thing you could use is kind of like a sticker maker. I think Xyron do the sticker makers, and or a sheet of I think Sticks 2 is another brand that I have some of their sort of double-sided adhesive sheets, and I could have used that before die cutting and put the cardstock on the adhesive, one side of the adhesive, run it through to die cut it, and then it would become like a sticker and you'd peel off the other side of it. I didn't think that far, so I was still trying to get these projects out for you guys, but I just used wet adhesive, so yes, it looks a bit messy. But it still worked. So I got those both stuck on there, onto each of those holographic cardstock pieces. They're like mirror board. And I also die cut the little scalloped rectangle, that's the word, out of some black cardstock. And I also cut the word hello that comes with the set out of the same holographic paper. I think I just used like a scrap piece of it, and this is going to be very, very simple. It doesn't get more difficult than this, but I wanted to show you how you can use two of these floral sort of die cut pieces and create an A2, the front of an A2 card. So that's what I'm doing here, and just lining them up so that the rainbow again matches up, but you can see that's how I cut them out. And then just deciding on a plain white cardstock, on a plain white card base, what distance I wanted them, to stick them down. So this is all I'm doing, is working out the placement of them, where I'm going to add them, and then I will just get some more of that Nouveau adhesive and just stick them flat. You could pop these up, of course. Dimension is life, as Laura Basson always says. But I decided to keep these nice and flat. Sometimes I like a dimension on my cards, but sometimes it does, you've got to bear in mind it does add bulk. So if you're not worried about the bulk, or you're hand delivering a card, or it's for a scrapbook page or something like that, then how about it? Do whatever you want to do. But sometimes for cards, I think if there's lots of layers of cardstock, that in itself adds bulk and weight to your card. So if we're looking at this card already, there's 3 layers of card there, because you've got the base of the card, the holographic card, and then the blank cardstock. So there's already 3 layers there on that as a card base, but it doesn't have that super dimensional look to it. and obviously is quite flat. So once I had that on there, I realized that even as my adhesive was drying, there were these, like, I'm just going to say it, these boogery bits that kind of were left behind, which is why using a sticker maker or the double-sided adhesive and die cutting it that way so it becomes a sticker as such is probably a better option, just because you won't land up with those sort of areas that can sort of change the look of the mirror cardstock. And this is for any shiny sort of surface. The surfaces that are more of a that look more like brushed, is that the word, or maybe like a satin finish, they're maybe not as obvious on there, but the really shiny ones, it's just glaringly obvious. So yeah, hindsight and all that. So what I also wanted to do was bring more of the white card base into the rest of the design. So I decided to, around the scalloped edge on the rectangle, I decided to just use a Sakura white jelly roll pen, I think it's called. And I've had that thing for years, it's still going. So we will just keep using it until it, eventually dies on me. But they're really, really handy. The clear sparkle one is also a really handy pen to have. So even if you just have them in your stash for those moments where you just want to add a bit of something. And I think the white gel pen is really good for dark cardstock, where you can add either the little dots like I've done around the scallop, or you can add like a faux stitching detail, little lines and dots, that kind of thing. It just creates the little highlights on, like little characters, or the sort of highlighting the scallop a bit more, and it just gives it I don't know, it's a little bit old school, I think, but I like it. So I wanted to, the other reason for doing that is also because that scallop rectangle is kind of large compared to the saying, that like the hello on there. So although it fits the width, it's kind of wider than the hello. So I sort of thought, well, this sort of just draws your eyes in a bit to the word. And the other thing I decided to do, because I was on a roll clearly, is I went and put little dots in the centers of all the flowers with the white gel pen again. And also going along, the leaves have little lines. You can just about see them on the camera there, on screen. They have these little lines kind of where the vein of the leaf would be. So I decided to also draw along that line. So I will get these done. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not that, it's definitely not difficult. I don't do anything difficult, you know that. And it really wasn't that long-winded to do. In hindsight, I'm not sure I actually like the lines on the leaves, because my my pen was maybe, the ball was maybe a little too wide to get in the sort of the crease, if you like, of the leaf line. So in the end, I'm not completely happy with the lines on the leaves, and I maybe would have just left it just with the white dots for the centers of the flowers, or I could have taken a like some gems, and added those to the centers of the flowers to again just add a bit of bling or something instead. But yeah, it's a bit artsy maybe, so I'm going to go with that. But yeah, that's probably not my favorite part of this part of it. I wasn't sure about the lines on the leaves, and I just thought, I'm not sure about that at all. So in the end, I don't really like it, but it's fine. I think the idea was there, and I think if I had a smaller tipped pen, it would have worked a bit better. But hey ho. The other thing I was thinking you could do with this as well, which I didn't attempt on video because it does take an awful long time, is, and I have seen it done, you can inlay. So this has got a really pretty like a rose kind of flower in as the main flower, and then these leaves, these larger leaves that you could then inlay. And so I think that would be really pretty to do. So you could start out with maybe a white or or even the black as the outline, and then cut it a couple more times in green and I don't know, pink or purple or something, whatever color flower you want. And that would be a very cool thing to do as well. So I may attempt that someday, but right now, still catching up. So bear with me. This might take a while. So for the little rectangle scallop, I decided to pop that up on some foam. I just thought it made sense to do that. And here's me trying to get it somewhat lined up in the center. You guys know I don't do straight lines or line things very well, but I this was the idea to get it somewhat centered. There's probably a billion different ways that people can do this to make it much easier than what I'm trying here, but I just used a T-square ruler on the edge of the card and then just eyeballed the rest of it, which, as you can see, I didn't eyeball quite so well, but I just winged that bit. And then when I was happy enough, I just went, that's fine, it can stick there, and then pressed it down. And then for the hello, I decided to go at an angle with this because, well, just because, mostly because there's space in there. You'll see there's a lot of extra space in that rectangle, which I think is for one of the other smaller florals that come in the set as well. But I just thought it sort of took up a bit more room on there, and just made a bit more sense for me anyway. And that's pretty much the card, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking with me through all the catching up that I'm doing. And I hope you have a very blingy, rainbowy kind of week. Yeah, until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.